Friends, we will start Congress Live Asia Pacific session. My name is Noriyuki Suzuki, General Secretary of the ITUC Asia Pacific. The ITUC Asia Pacific is growing. The effective membership of our organization when we founded in 2007 was about 30 million. Now the effective membership stands at 60 million because of the successful organizing in not only in traditional sectors, but also the workers working under precarious conditions, and especially in informal economy. We have 57 affiliates in 33 countries and territories. Today, 23 leaders and guests will speak. The first speaker is Brother Sanjiva Reddy, President of the INTUC India and President of our regional organization. Brother Sanjiva Reddy, please.
Friends, we are in the World Conference on the subject of building the workers' power. We have most of the Asian countries, particularly South Asia. The South Asia, most of the populated area and most of the poor people are existing, and also unemployment problem is one of the biggest subject. And informal sector workers are predominantly 90% of the informal sector workers are working in these countries, South Asia. Now, in this atmosphere, we are discussing of the building the workers' power. So my submission on behalf of the Indian working people, while we are looking to the theme of the building workers' power, which itself means that we have to build a workers' power through the bringing more and more workers into the trade union fold. We have to be really representative of the working people in our respective countries and they strengthen the trade union movement regionally and globally. If I say about my region, and especially South Asia, there is a trend of recruiting the contract workers or daily based workers in the organized sector. It means the organized workers are vanishing slowly and informal sector workers, including the women, youth and irregular workers are recruited. And it is very huge task for the trade union to organize them into the trade union fold. The employers, especially corporate and multinationals, are concentrated on making profit and most of the jobs are converted into informal. Unfortunately, union membership is slowly showing a declining trend in most of the countries. It is a matter of serious concern, but also a challenge of increasing our membership. The situation of our country is the opposite. Union membership has grown tremendously during the last few years. In the current verification process of organization, the INTUC has submitted our membership claim of 33 million. This is including the significant number of the workers in the informal economy, rural workers, and the workers in irregular work arrangement. The membership drive initiated during the last few years, which enabled the INTUC registered a new union for informal sector, and it's from its 10 million members in 2006, now it has reached a 33 million members in the country. Although efforts are organizing to unorganized workers in the informal economy are being made by the trade unions, the majority of the workers remain unrecognized unrecognized, unorganized, unprotected under the labor laws. The issue of the working condition in the informal economy has been high on the agenda of the union for quite some years now. We should think now to eliminate the negative aspect of the informality while preserving the job, income generation, potential of the informal economy. How to promote a decent work for these who work outside the informal labor market, outside the formal labor market, such as unregulated wage workers, self-employed workers, domestic and home workers. Social security. The workers in the informal economy are out of the social security benefit and they are not covered by the social condition, service condition, health-related benefit, and they are not getting even minimum wages. Our experience shows that it is an urgent need to find a measure promoting a recognition, protection, support to informal economy workers, including the extension of health and social protection schemes, and change the labor laws. The policy of promoting the employment have been mainly aimed at increasing the quality of the employment, and a large number of people were employed but did not earn enough. It is important domestic employment which is focused equally to employment. The unorganized sector consisting all unprotected, uncorporated private enterprises owned by the individuals or thousands of engaged in social sale and production of goods, services, operated property or partnership basis, and with this less than the 10 total workers. The trade union unity. In India, we are now working toward bringing the unity among the trade union. We are responding to the workers' problem jointly. Organization took the initiative in bringing all representative national trade union under one coordinating body. Trade union called for a 2-day national strike, which was participated by more than 100 million workers throughout the country. Only because of the workers' unity, such a massive protest action was possible. We are planning to have a similar action in the future. 10 points demand charter, including several demands, especially relating informal sector workers. Unemployment in Asia and Pacific region. The trade union movement is also seriously concerned about the increasing the precarious job work in Asia Pacific region. Already unemployment is increasing at the alarming rate. Decent work is sinking. Precarious job was visible with a insecure job. Lower working condition in terms of wage and other benefit is grave threat to the worker. The job are outside the coverage of the labor legislation and social security scheme. Employers resort to the precarious work mainly to reduce the labor cost, making worker position vulnerable. Trade union movement will tackle the challenge of increasing the precarious informal employment intensively. Conclusion, I would say that we have to make a union movement strong, union movement effective. Then only we can influence the decision affecting the working people. We have to give top priority to organize. We have to allocate the maximum resources for this task. We have to enter into a new area, either to unorganized sector of the working people. Only through such a concentrated move, we can achieve the significant growth, building the workers' power. I am thankful to the chair giving this opportunity. Thanking you.
Thank you, Brother Sanjeeva Reddy. Next speaker is Brother David Noonan, Vice President, ACTU Australia. Please.
Thank you, Brother Suzuki. Brothers and sisters, on behalf of the Australian Council of Trade Unions, I bring greetings from 2 million working Australians. The ACTU endorses Sharon Burrows for her contribution to the ITUC and to the global workers' movement. Australians face serious challenges to their living standards and to their rights at work following the election of the neoliberal Abbott government. Our new Prime Minister has moved swiftly to implement policies that reflect his deepest political prejudices. I know that many delegates from many countries are experiencing the bitter winds of austerity in the wake of the global financial crisis. So consider a country which avoided the worst of the GFC, where the economy is buoyant, where debt is low, where unemployment is below 6% and inflation is 2.9%. You might think that no politician in their right mind would impose an austerity budget on such an economy, yet that is precisely what Tony Abbott has done. Having promised no cuts to health, education or public services prior to the 2013 election, Abbott's first budget has slashed spending by $80 billion over the next 10 years. He has introduced co-payments for visits to the doctor. Tertiary students will face higher fees, and trade apprenticeships have been defunded. Unemployed young people will be denied benefits for 6 months. The retirement age will be raised to 70, even for manual workers, an attack on the economic security of the next generation of Australians. Tony Abbott will boast of these measures when he hosts the G20 in November, and he will encourage the world to continue the pursuit of this ideological madness. In 2007, Abbott's mentor John Howard lost office after his government attacked union and worker rights. In opposition, Abbott conceded that the Howard government had overreached and then voters were told there would be no return to anti-worker policies if Abbott was elected. Brothers and sisters, on all these things, Tony Abbott lied. Already bills have been introduced to the Parliament to limit access to unions in bargaining and in the workplace. The government has commissioned the Neoliberal Productivity Commission to recommend more precarious employment, an end to overtime penalty rates and to collective bargaining rights. They have moved to reimpose draconian laws on the construction industry, where a government inspectorate prosecutes workers for any industrial action, a clear breach of key conventions of the International Labour Organisation. They have established a Royal Commission into trade union governance, a blatant attempt to capitalise on isolated incidences and allegations to justify laws intended to reduce unions to voluntary associations with a few derisory, unenforceable bargaining rights. This we will never accept. This we will stand against. The Australian union movement has fought before and won before, and we will stand up and fight again. And brothers and sisters, united we will win. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Dave. Next speaker, Brother Kim Dong-man, President FKTU, Korea. Please.
저는 한국노총 위원장 김동만입니다. 먼저 지난 4년간 노동자의 권익 보호를 위해서 ITUC가 기울여온 헌신적인 노력에 큰 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 또한 지난 4월 한국의 세월호 참사와 관련하여 ITUC를 비롯한 국제사회의 격려와 애도는 비통에 빠진 한국 국민들에게 큰 위로가 되었습니다. 이 기회를 빌어 다시 한번 동지 여러분들께 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 이번 총회 성명의 서두는 국민들이 정부에 의해 방치되고 있다고 생각한다로 시작됩니다. 이 표현은 페리오 참사로 고통받는 한국 국민뿐만 아니라 사상 최악의 터키 광산 폭발, 방글라데시 라나 플라자 붕괴 참사, 캄보디아와 피지의 극심한 노동 탄압으로 절망에 빠진 전 세계 민중들의 심정을 그대로 대변하고 있습니다. 이 모든 고통의 원인은 무자비한 신자유주의적 규제 완화와 무분별한 비정규직 확산에 있습니다. 무책임한 정부와 비윤리적 기업은 이러한 비극을 방조하고 조장하고 있습니다. 국민과 노동자의 기본권을 박탈하면서 대기업의 권력을 편중시키는 데 경기 침체를 이용하고 있습니다. 이러한 상황에서 공정한 사회와 경제를 이루기 위해 노동자의 힘을 구축하자는 이번 총회의 주제는 매우 시적절하며 중요하다고 생각합니다. 이러한 중요한 사명 앞에서 한국 노동자들의 현실은 암담하기만 합니다. 작년 말 발생한 민주노총에 대한 공권력의 폭력적 침탈, 정교조와 공무원 노조 탄압은 한국 정부의 노동 탄압을 극명하게 보여주는 대표적 사례입니다. 현 정권은 자신의 공약을 파기하고 주 52시간을 초과하는 장시간 노동을 용인하고 있으며 무분별한 정리해고를 조장하고 있습니다. 한국 노총이 제시한 노동기본권 과제인 특수고용직 노동기본권 보장, 전임자 급여금지 조항 삭제, 교섭 장구 단일화 제도 개선, 손배 가압류 철폐는 철저히 무시되고 있습니다. 특히 한국 정부는 공공부문의 부채의 책임을 노동자들에게 전가시키고 있으며 헌법이 보장하고 있는 단체 교섭권마저 철저히 무시하고 있습니다. 산재공화국인 한국에서는 매년 2천여 명의 노동자가 사망하고 10만여 명의 노동자가 재해를 당하고 있습니다. 이러한 암울한 상황은 전 세계적으로 공통적 현상입니다. 따라서 이제 무자비한 자본의 세계화에 맞서 노동의 세계화로 대응해야 합니다. 규제되지 않는 자본의 행포에 맞서서 전 세계 노동자와 민중이 힘을 결집해야 합니다. 21세기 현대판 노예제의 덫에 갇혀 고통받는 민중들, 해방투쟁과 민주주의 수호투쟁을 벌이고 있는 전 세계 형제자매들과 전면에 나서야 합니다. ITUC를 중심으로 한 보다 강력한 연대를 통해서 민주주의와 자유를 강화하고 정의로운 세계를 건설할 수 있는 노동자의 힘을 강력히 구축해 나가야 합니다. 이번 ITUC 세계총회는 이러한 미래의 비전을 실현할 수 있는 중요한 전환점이 될 것입니다. 한국노총은 ITUC를 중심으로 한 포용적 노동운동을 강력히 지지하며 경제, 사회, 정의를 위한 투쟁에 적극 동참할 것입니다. Thank you very much.
Next speaker, Brother Nobuaki Koga, President JTUC Japan, please.
いいですか OK はい日本の連合の古賀でございます。
I am Koga of JTUC Rengo.
2008年
Since
の
the 2008
経済危機以降
economic crisis,
日本の経済も
Japan's economy
大きく
has
後退し
experienced a recession
解雇や
through layoffs
雇い止めにより
and
多くの
hiring freezes.
労働者が
Many workers
失業しました
have become unemployed.
そして
Also,
働く者の
workers'
収入は下がり
earnings
続
continue
け
to decline,
一方で
whilst
長時間
working
労働を
hours
余儀なくされるなど
creating an extremely
働く者にとって
prosperous situation for
大
workers.
変厳しい状況が続いています。また
Moreover,
私たち日本に
in
は
our Japan,
もう一つ
another
これまでに経験したことのない
never before experienced
大
difficulty
きな困難が
has
生じました
arisen.
それは
That
未曾有の
was
被
the
害を
most
発生さ
disastrous
せ
earthquake
多く
that
の
took the
尊い
precious
命が
lives
奪われ
of
た
so many
2011
in
年
March
3月の
2011,
東日本大震災で
the
す。
Great East Japan earthquake.
震災後
After the disaster
ITUC
struck,
そし
the
て
ITUC
世界の多く
and
の
so
労
many
働組合の
brothers and
仲間から
sisters of the World
お見舞い
Trade
と
Unions
温かい
extended their
励まし
words of
さらには
condolences
義援
and
金を
warm
いただきました。
encouragement. We even received many
この場をお借り
contributions.
し 改めて皆さんに対し心よりお礼を申し上げます。震災からの復興なくして日本の再生もありません。これからも労働組合として復興・再生に全力を挙げていきたいと思います。さて、今、市場経済、資本主義の弱点が浮かび上がってきています。企業価値が株価の時価総額で判断される中で、経営者は短期利益ばかり追求し、働く者をコストとして捉え、低賃金で長労働時間の実態が広がっています。日本では政府による規制緩和、経営者によるコスト削減の行動が相まって、正規社員は減少し続け、非正規で働く人が増え続けています。私たちが求める社会は、誰もが安心して働ける社会、一人一人が働くことに誇りや喜びを持てる社会です。連合は2010年に私たちが目指す社会像として働くことを軸とする安心社会を提唱しました。年齢や性別、障害の有無にかかわらず、誰もが公正な労働条件のもと多様な働き方を通じて社会に参加でき、社会的にも経済的にも自立し、全体で支え合う社会を目指しています。また、労働組合の原点は仲間づくり、すなわち組織化、組織拡大です。連合には現在675万人の労働者が加盟していますが、2020年までに1000万人に増やすべく、連合の力を結集し、組織拡大に取り組んでいます。私たち連合は1989年の結成から今年で四半世紀25年を迎えます。諸先輩が築き上げた良き伝統や歴史、そして理念はしっかりと堅持しつつも、大きな環境変化の中で、これまでの経験や価値観の延長線上ではない質的、量的に新たな運動を創造します。ITUC および ITUC に結集する皆さんと連携し、全世界のすべての人にディーセントワークが実現するよう、これからも運動を推進していきます。皆さん、共に頑張りましょう。ありがとうございました。
Next speaker, Brother Lee Chikuyan, General Secretary, Hong Kong CTU, Hong Kong SAR. Please.
Thank you. This is Lee Chuk-yan, General Secretary of the Hong Kong Confederation of Trade Unions. And on behalf of our organization, we greet all our brothers and sisters in this International Trade Unions ITUC Congress. Today, we are witnessing a capitalist world. More than any time in the past, promoting the interests of the 1% rich by creaming off the prosperity created by the 99%. Something had went terribly wrong. Looking deeper into problems, the collusion of governments and big business are now more entrenched than any time in the past. Democracy are failing the people, and we need to urgently do something about it. We believe the international trade unions movement had to make a concerted effort to get our governments back to the workers. This takes both organizing skill and political will, and we have to start working on this. In Hong Kong, the HKCTU is now fighting for universal suffrage for the year 2017. The Chinese government promised political reform in Hong Kong, but insisted on screening out candidates, it cannot accept through a predominantly business-controlled nomination committee. The people can have the right to vote, but the Chinese government will pick the candidates. The CTU will not accept this arrangement, and we are now mobilizing our members to the street to fight for our very basic democratic rights. This fight is the same fight as the Chinese workers who are now fighting for the rights to organize independent union to improve their livelihood. The Chinese workers are fighting by going on strikes to improve their wages and working conditions. They, everyone here knows, cannot organize independent unions under the law, but they can go on strike. Recently, their right to strike is curtailed when the government sent in police against the striker and started to arrest and imprison the strikers with the charge or with the so-called crime of disturbing public order. But the workers are determined to fight back and continue to go on strike. They have nothing to lose but their chains. TNC is heavily investing in China and employing millions of workers. ITUC want to target TNC for campaign. Then we cannot ignore or neglect the Chinese workers who are already fighting back. The recent strike by Yuyuan shoe factories producing Nike is a very clear example of the fighting back by Chinese workers. It is of utmost importance for ITUC to seize the moment to support the strikers and the labor NGO that are helping to organize the strikers. The official union, All China Federation of Trade Union, CFTU, not only is not relevant, but on the wrong side of the fence. The ITUC must review its critical engagement policy to China with more focus on campaign around the TNC that are employing millions of workers inside China. For the HKCTU, we will continue our fight for democracy and continue the support of our Chinese brother and sister workers to fight back. So we look forward to more support from the international union, and together we seize the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Lee. Next speaker, Brother Sia Keng Tia, Chair, Young NTUC, SNTUC Singapore, please.
Good morning, brothers and sisters, colleagues. I'm Sia Keng Tia, a representative youth from the Singapore National Trade Union Congress. I'm honored to be here, to be present in the ITUC World Congress. In Singapore, the youth wing of the labor movement is called Young NTUC, whereby we have a membership standing at about 180,000. Our visions are to understand and to promote advocacy for the younger workers in terms of workers' rights. We name it 4 Ps. What are 4 Ps? They are mainly privileges, protection, progression, and placement. Younger leaders like me has the opportunity to participate and experience such a World Congress, mainly because of our unique 3-flow leadership development and succession framework that we implemented in Singapore NTUC. Basically, it allows younger members to flow into union leadership for seamless leadership transmission, and also at the same time, for older workers to flow on as a mentor and provide appropriate guidance to the younger leaders like us. I'm very much glad to be present in this ITUC World Congress to represent the younger leaders of our Singapore labor movement. And I hope that I can bring back the learning of building workers' power and to share with my fellow youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Sia. Next speaker, Brother Shin Seung-jul, President, KCTU, Korea. Please.
국제노총 총회에 참석하신 동지 여러분 안녕하십니까? 민주노총 위원장 신승철입니다. 민주노총을 대표해서 터키 광산 노동자의 죽음의 애도를 표하며 세월호 참사에 애도를 표해 주신 각국의 노동자에게 감사드립니다. 올해 국제노총 총회는 조직화와 노동기본권, 임금, 고용, 복지를 주제로 진행됩니다. 민주노총은 지난 2006년 1기 전략조직화 사업을 시작한 이래 미조직, 비정규직 조직화 사업을 핵심 과제로 삼아왔습니다. 올해에는 3기 전략조직화 사업에 돌입했으며 200억 기금 모금 사업을 함께 추진하고 있습니다. 기금 모금은 조직화의 물적 토대를 구축하는 동시에 조직화 사업의 중요성을 인식하도록 하는 조직문화 혁신의 의미도 담고 있습니다. 또 미조직 비정규 전략조직화 본부를 설치하고 예산의 절반 가까이를 이에 투입하고 집행체계 역시 조직화 사업을 최우선으로 하고 있습니다. 한국의 노동조합 조직률은 10.3%에 불과하며 비정규 노동자의 조직가입률은 1.4%에 그치고 있습니다. 조직률이 낮아지며 민주노총의 계급 대표성도 위협받고 있습니다. 이미 전체 노동자의 절반 이상이 비정규직인 상황에서 비정규 노동자 조직화 없이는 민주노조 운동의 미래도 없습니다. 민주노총이 전략조직화 사업과 기금 모금 사업에 사활을 걸어야 하는 이유도 여기에 있습니다. 공무원, 교사, 교수는 노동조합조차 부정되고 있습니다. 비정규직이 노조에 가입하려면 해고를 각오해야 합니다. 특수고용 노동자들은 노동자가 아니라고 합니다. 파업은 업무방해죄 형사처벌을 피하기 어렵고 공공부문은 필수유지 업무 때문에 파업조차 어렵습니다. 민주노총은 노동기본권 전면 보장을 위한 노조법 개정에 힘을 쏟고 있습니다. 한국은 세월호 참사로 온 국민이 슬픔과 분노에 차 있습니다. 죽거나 실종된 사람만 300명이 넘습니다. 생명보다 이윤을 앞세운 정권과 자본의 탐욕이 빚어낸 죽음이며 이는 비단 세월호 참사만이 아닙니다. 1년에 산업재해로 사망하는 노동자가 2,400명, 쌍용자동차 정리해고로 목숨을 잃은 노동자의 가족은 25명입니다. 한국 노동자와 민중의 삶은 불안한 생사의 기로에 있습니다. 민주노총은 비상시국농성에 돌입하고 6월 말 총파업 총궐기를 결의했습니다. 이 투쟁은 노동자의 생명과 모든 이의 안전을 보장하기 위한 싸움입니다. 철도, 의료, 민영화와 규제 완화 등 생명과 안전을 위협하는 정부 정책에 맞서기 위한 저항입니다. 자본의 세계화와 탈규제화가 불러온 참사는 세계 곳곳에서 벌어지고 있습니다. 민주노총은 노동자의 생명을 위협하고 노동기본권을 짓밟는 자본의 세계화에 맞선 국제노총 차원의 공동투쟁을 제안합니다. 투쟁하는 세계 모든 노동자와 함께 싸우겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Brother Shin. Next speaker, Brother Naumann, General Secretary, FGUM, please.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Maung Maung, and I'm the General Secretary of the Federations of Trade Union Myanmar. It used to be called FTUB Trade Unions of Burma. I come to this Congress from our country, which is a normal thing, but for us it is very strange because for 24 years we were in exile. For the last 24 years, we were supported by the ITUC and the GOVs and by the International Trade Union Solidarity Movement. And we worked through the ILO mechanism so that we could get freedom of association and workers' rights accepted in the country. In 2012, we returned to our country through the negotiations of the ITUC and the ILO. And since that time, we have been working, trying to organize training, building up trade union structures, providing legal assistance, helping with the factory-level negotiations, introducing our local unions to the international trade unions. We have had trainings provided by AgTraf, Solidarity Center, Rango, BWI, Industrial All. These trainings are oriented on educating our workers on freedom of association and especially on CBA. Up to now, there are 1,100 local unions registered in the country. As our members, we have over 416 local unions, 16 township levels, and 1 regional level organization. The above happened because we were supported by the ITUC, the GOVs, and the International Trade Union Movement. And this is something that we did. It's not something that we are talking about doing, but something we achieved through the support of the International Trade Union Movement, and for that we thank all of you. We did it, and we can do it again. We thank the ITUC and the Congress is what has kept us alive. And we also promise to all of you that we will develop stronger trade union base in the country that will become a dependable social partner in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Balman. Next speaker, Brother Chen Ray, President CFL, Taiwan ROC. Please.
各位 ITUC 的兄弟姐妹，大家好，我是新任的中华民国全国总工会理事长陈瑞，很高兴出席 ITUC 第3届世界大会。本人希望借用会议几分钟时间，向大家说明中华民国在劳动人权的进展，以及钱总未来在国际社群上所要扮演的角色。面对全球化竞争，我国目前产业结构正急速转型，劳动市场也面临结构性调整，带来失业与所得分配不均等问题，加上劳动市场弹性化发展、非典型劳动形态盛行，使得就业不稳定，并冲击传统劳资关系。为了保障我国的劳动权益，钱总除了积极参与政府劳动工会法、团体协约法以及劳资争议处理法之修法工作，因此，现今中华民国劳动3法的修正，不仅大幅保障工会的团体协约协商权利，充分保障工会的集体争议权，并建构了不当劳动行动裁决制度，此制度也大幅提升工会的集体劳动权参权的保障。中华民国于东南亚乃至于全球生产链与分工体系中扮演着举足轻重的角色。 而台商在海外的投资的过程中，为当地国创造许多就业机会。中华民国同时为国际金融与贸易的重要成员之一。倘未能向国际社群分享我经济发展成果以及劳动政策内涵，实属可惜。况且，现今全球化市场发展蓬勃的因素下，每个国家都不能置身于全球化的巨浪中。劳动政策的推行与拟定，也必须要根据出席国际工会联盟所召开的各项会议，掌握最新劳动立法情势与资讯，作为我国劳动人权保障的参据。目前，我国政府各制定相关法律，包括劳动教育法、派遣劳工保护法等，并关注开放教师罢工权等相关重要议题。以上这一切都是全总所持续关注及不断督促政府的地方，其不仅对于我国劳动权益保障有重大意义，相信这期间的过程与资讯，对于其他国家与工会而言，也将是相当重要的讯息。全总今后积极参与国际工会联盟各项会议，不仅分享我国各项劳工运动、政策制定、集体协商、社会对话等经验，更愿意协助其他国家工会共同面对雇主不当的剥削或政府不足的保障，让普世的劳动价值落实在全世界每个角落。各位弟兄、各位姐妹，感谢你们的聆听。最后，我还是要告诉各位，全总这几年虽未积极出席与会，但对于劳工权益的追求未曾改变。今后全总将积极参与国际各项活动，也希望各位好朋友给予协助及支持。谢谢。
And the CFL will take part in the international events actively with your kindly support. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ken. Next speaker, Brother Mojibu Buyan. Excuse me. Next speaker, Sister Sulistri, Vice President, KSBSI Indonesia. Please.
Dear colleagues, thank you very much for this occasion. So, congratulations for the ITUC for the 3rd of Congress. In this occasion, I would like to share what is the activity of the KSBSI related with the promoting decent job in KSBSI. I think this is also related with the what is the ITUC policy and program. So, the program of the KSBSI, I mean that the activities that have done by KSBSI related in promoting with the decent job is consists in the 3 levels. I mean that the first level is we have a training related with the promoting for the decent job to our member, especially in how is they can maintenance starting from the housing level. So we train them, we increasing their awareness related how to make effective, efficient to use the electricity. And then we also increasing their awareness related to the, they should be disposed of the waste to the right place. And then we try to encourage them to planting for the flower trees around their house. And then the second level is related with the promoting decent job at the company level. So at the company level, we push our leader at the company level to discussing on the climate change or green job in the collective bargaining agreement in the CBA. So we believe that with the green job, the productivity of the workers will be increased. And then, we also respect with the society around the company, the environmental of the company. And then the third level, we lobby and also advocates the policy of the government related with the green job and also related with the climate change. So we try to influence the policy. Example like how the government can establish the comfortable public transport, and then also about the reinforcement. So I think as union, our task is not only focus on the normative right, but we also can see the other point, the other thing who will give effect to the life of the workers. So we hope ITUC will guide us, especially related in the promoting green job, because it's not many union aware on that issue. And then, of course, because not union not care with the green job issue, but because union very busy with the normative issue about the wages, about social security, about the occupational safety and health, about the discrimination between men and women. So I hope ITUC will continue to support us and guide us, especially in the campaign on the green job. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Celeste. Next speaker, Brother Mujibur Bayan, General Secretary, EMSF, Bangladesh.
Thank you, Brother Suzuki. Sisters and brothers, I shall talk on the sub-theme, sustainable jobs, secure incomes, and social protection. The so-called globalization, free market economy, trade liberalization, and new liberal model of capitalism has totally failed to deliver not to question of decent sustainable jobs, but ousted 1 billion workers globally from jobs, could not secure incomes, but compelled billions of workers to remain unfed, and compel government to withdraw all kinds of subsistence from public utility services, including social protection, resulting this planet a hell for poor people and working poor. If we look to Bangladesh's situation, we find the inability and unwillingness of the successive government to restore and create jobs is having a particularly brutal impact on youth. Adequate opportunities and access to quality education, technical and vocational training are not available to the 90% youth, which is a precondition for the decent and sustainable job. Subsistence government and its relevant agencies on skill development failed to anticipate the skill necessities, resulting in job mismatch, wastage of productive capacity and potential of youth. The government and its agencies failed to address the needs of the migrant workers who are suffering intolerable miseries abroad. Not only adult workers, child labor in maximum numbers are compelled to work long hours for a very low wage in hazardous work in extremely bad conditions, which is definitely below the service standard level. The Bangladeshi workers are cheapest in the world. Their income is less than $2 a day. They are working poor. Their income is not at all secured, even if they are permanent workers. But at present, 70% of the workers are engaged in precarious work in formal sector, which is irregular, non-permanent, daily basis, no work, no pay. They don't get leave, overtime, or any fringe benefit. Outsourcing, contract, subcontract dominates informal sector, not to talk of informal sector who constitute 87.5% workforce of the country. Their sorrows cannot be stated in any language. The employers discovered many ways of avoiding expenses, such as lack of health and safety procedure, lack of latrine and toilet facilities, and sometimes lock workers inside until the production goals are met. The cost of these inhuman conditions are counted in human lives and severe injuries. Workers do not get any pension. There is no unemployment benefit scheme. Dismissed workers go at home at empty hand. Their income is not secured and have no social protection. But we need to change this situation. Through our solidarity, unity, united global as well as national struggle and action, we can change this world. Alternative in economic order could be established for sustainable jobs, secure incomes, and social protection. And this is possible. Today, let us promise to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Mohammed Nurul. Next speaker, Brother Zahur Awan, General Secretary, PWF, Pakistan.
Brothers and sisters, colleagues, the theme of this World Congress, Building Workers' Power, is very of the significance reference, particularly when the figure has been told of 7% unionized globally, and in our national context, the unionization rate is even low, like for Pakistan it is 6%. So definitely when we will see that how we can build up workers' power by making more unionization efforts and to bring it more to those fold who, by the victims of the violation of the trade union rights, cannot come within the purview of the organizing efforts of the organization concerned. Moreover, beside this, when we say that we need to have more organizing, but beside this, already organized workforce in every country is, and particularly in the Asian context, and most of them, they are fragmented. For instance, a 4% of the unionized workforce in some of the countries is shared by many, many national centers, undermining the workers' building powers as well as its strength to have collective bargaining, to scrupulous employer, and that of the anti-government attitude towards workers. This is very much higher need for that the workers who are unionized already, they should be united in one platform. And in Pakistan, we did this effort previously of the three organization to merge into one of the previous three affiliate of the ITUC. Now, presently also, we are trying hard for that in the second phase of unionization, we go ahead with second merger with the other smaller national center, so that at least we as a 6% unionized workforce come together to have a collective voice of the workers in way of making our effort to that of the business governments, to that of the governments of the feudal landlords who are in the parliament to control the country political and legislative structure, manipulating maximum privilege and profit to their class of people. So we have to go it ahead for that purpose. And then last thing, it comes for the social protection. What we say it in Asian region, the Bhopal accident killing how many workers in India, Rana Plaza in Bangladesh, Inferno in Karachi, Pakistan. So these are the blatant example for which workers have suffered from their life. They were not victims of the war, they were victims of the work. So we have to see it through and moreover on the social safety net also, how we have to go ahead with that, how social protection can bring all workers in our respective countries, but it is not possible that until and unless we will not be having a united workforce. United we stand, divided we fall, and this is main theme of our Congress, which is building workers' power, and workers' power can only be possible and crowned with success of having make us in unity in our ranks to make it more stronger voice of the workers. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Awan. Next speaker, Brother Velaitam, is not here yet. So, next speaker, I want to invite Brother Zahrul Hassan, advisor, BJSD, Bangladesh. Please.
Good morning, Brother Suzuki, friends, sisters and brothers. The statement I'm going to make in this Congress is relevant to building workers' power, but particularly focusing on a missing point throughout the initiative of the most contemporary, well-debated issue, the Rana Plaza tragedy. The title of my statement is a missing point of the post-Rana Plaza initiative. April 23, 2013, the 8-storied building where 5 RMG factories, a private bank, and a good number of shops and stores were housed, showed a clear crack on its wall. There was every apprehension that the building will collapse, as it happened in other places before. 2,200 workers working in those 5 factories expressed their unwillingness to work next day in that risky building. The management of the factories threatened the workers, if they don't come to work, they will not get salary, and even they might lose their jobs. The owners of the other private bank and the other shops and stores closed their establishment and overnight shifted their belongings to safe places in strong apprehension of collapse of that building. Next day, the 24th April 2014, the unwilling workers were forced to enter the building and work. The whole building collapsed, killing and severely injuring thousands of workers. So far, 1,137 dead bodies and over 1,000 injured workers are recovered and rescued, and another 183 are still missing. This is the ill-famed Rana Plaza tragedy, now known all over the world. Had there been a union in any one of those 5 factories, I can assure you, friends, that there would be no way for any employer or authority to force these unwilling workers to get into the building, and such a miserable tragedy could have been avoided. In spite of the fact that from 1990 to 2013, different accidents, including fire and building collapse, caused 1,780 workers dead and 6,591 wounded. And in spite of repeated call and demand from the workers and the trade union movement to look into the unsafe workplace, nobody paid any heed, and painful tragedy like Rana Plaza could happen. Now, at the cost of over 1,000 lives and another 1,000 injured, many of them have to carry the distress of invalidity for the rest of their lives. The still neck of the employer and the indifferent national authority seem to have turned. Due to the role of the media, it has drawn attention of the whole world. Many agencies, organizations, persons, both at local and global level, showed their sympathy and solidarity calling for adequate compensation and rehabilitation of the victims and remediation of the workplace. The ITUC President, the ITUC AP General Secretary, the Director General of the ILO visited Bangladesh and met all the stakeholders to ensure durable remedial measures to stop repetition of such accidents. The ITUC, ITUC AP, Industrial, the brands and the buyers, civil society organizations like GIZ, Clean Cloth Campaign has been very active. On behalf of the workers of Bangladesh, I would like to take the opportunity to thank them all and express our gratitude for their support and action. As a result of national and international pressure, certain initiatives are now in place. A national plan of action for the safety of the workplace now is in operation. There is an accord, there is alliance, the ILO initiative on compensation and rehabilitation, and few others. These are fine, and we need it. But there is a very important point missing throughout this national and international exercise. As I mentioned earlier, had there been at least one union in any one of those 5 factories, there surely would not have been any forced labor and no Rana Plaza tragedy would happen. As one involved in the process, I clearly see the absence of the most essential element, the freedom of association and the right to collective bargaining, deliberately or undeliberately, totally missing throughout this process. I once again assure, whatever and up to what extent is done, if there is no union, ultimately no initiative, no program will provide safety and security to the workers ultimately. So I strongly call upon this 3rd ITUC World Congress to exclusively pay attention that every international initiative, be it ILO, be it Accord, be it European Union, or whatever, freedom of association and collective bargaining must be ensured, and there shouldn't be any compromise and sidetracking of this. I further request the ITUC to support the campaign, national campaign of the ITUC affiliates in Bangladesh to organize particularly the RMG workers into union through all means needed and possible. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Brother Zafrul. Next speaker, Brother Vishnu Rimal, President Jifon Nepal. Please.
Thank you, Brother Suzuki. Dear sisters, brothers, comrades, colleagues, and friends, let me salute you from the country of high Himalayas and share you the greetings which I have carried from the workers world who are creating wealth for society ranging from Afghanistan to Zambia and from cold north to extremely hot Gulf countries. Berlin and Germany, we remember you in various ways. We learn you by great Karl Marx and Engels to Karl Kautsky and Bersin, Red Rosa Luxemburg to moderate Willy Brandt. We remember you, the dark shadow of devastating World War I, World War II, you with extreme pains dividing your own people by creating long wall in Berlin. We remember you again as the unifying element when you dismantled Berlin Wall over 25 years back. We salute you today as the host of the August Assembly. Thank you, DGB. Thank you, Berlin. Listening to ITUC General Secretary Comrade Sharon Barrow, I have no issue left to contradict with her, but few points to supplement. We are thankful to ITUC for recognizing tireless efforts of Nepali Sherpas in campaigning to save climate and our beautiful planet, establishing award in the name of a fallen Nepali comrade, Dorje Khatri, who was killed just 1 month back by an avalanche in Mount Everest. It is an honor to our heroes and their sacrifice for the common cause. In bullet point, let me second the report of Secretary General. Do Jifon support count us in a campaign for gender parity in our movement? Yes, undoubtedly. Do we ready to join a campaign to end modern-day slavery against migrant workers in Gulf states and plus? Yes, we do. Do we agree with campaign of union growth? Yes, of course, yes. Do we fight for ensure human dignity? Yes, we are fired up. Do we favor climate campaign? Absolutely, yes. We echo the slogan, job and job. There is no job in dead planet. How to work forward these talks then? I would just say in a sentence, it can be attended by building workers' power. Just 2 months back, GPON convened its 6th National Congress and we echoed with ITUC theme, build workers' power. Our theme says transformation by building workers' power. What do we mean, transformation, the building workers' power? Establishment of a state that would free from the clutches of overvoiced and bring itself down to voiceless. Building a society in which the weak and marginalized would not further weaken, but would have an opportunity to climb up the ladder of progress, a society that would open the door to dignified, prosperous, and creative life for the workers. As workers, our dreams are very simple. Some savings from our earnings after the fulfillment of daily needs to address emergencies, which actually is the state responsibility, but it does not fulfill. A piece of encouraging news about the redress for pregnancy-related death in rural Nepal or dreary death in plain south, not just the news of VIP being taken abroad for treatment in an air ambulance. 30% per 100 are unemployed and some 30% of total population is poor in my country. We want to tell the world. We wish to see the progress of our society measured against the income of the working class, not against the name of those billionaires listed in the Forbes magazine. We want to, in concern, wants to be reminded once again that unequal society stunted under the shadow of high-rising buildings is not what we are struggling for. And we do not call any shadow of progress built on the deprivation of the weak. Thus, we are demanding balance between those who get sick because they consume more than their need, and most of those who get sick because they lack even the minimum which they extremely need to survive. If we emphasis in growth, we think it is insufficient. Equal distribution as a must to make our society healthier. We need to transform our society, the society which has just made its departure from agrarian character to a new track of the possibilities. Comrades, building workers' power is key for the transformation, and the issue which I am mentioning here are the key to build workers' power. As a vibrant union movement in our part of the world, we in GPON urging our transitional state to balance between labor and capital, if not worker at least neutral with assurance of minimum wage, social protection and welfare measures. Pity to mention that among the two investors of our all of work, most of the state machinery, including ours, have always stood in favor of farmer while abusing the latter. It must be checked and bring into balance. Colleagues, our society is at the crossroad. Where to go? One leads us to hell of market fundamentalism, and next definitely guides us toward at least coordination between two forces. We want at least the state to stand as a fair regulatory mechanism between two investors of all of us, the capital and the labor. Capital should not be left unchecked, and labor not to be left on the mercy of the market. The fight for a better Nepal will continue simultaneously with the fight for a better world. Let us move ahead together in solidarity with determined efforts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Vishnu. Next speaker, Brother Harbhajan Singh, General Secretary, HMS, India. Please.
Thank you, Brother Suzuki. My name is Harbhajan Singh Sidhu, General Secretary, Hind Mazdoor Sabha, HMS, India. My country, India, is one of the biggest democratic country of the world, having 1,210 million population. Out of that, 470 million workforce in my country, and out of 470 million population of my country, we have only 6% in the organized sector, Remaining 94% are in the unorganized sector. As we have see that ITUC Third World Congress have the slogan to strengthen the workforce. On the other hand, what we are seeing, the capitalist has the slogan to weaken the workforce. We are in the competition, we are in the field. Since 91 in my country, we are facing very serious problem in our country when my government had decided to welcome the globalization and open our border for multinational to come to our country and invest their capital. And nobody will check you. Whatever you like, you will do. And on the other hand, government told the population of the country that multinational will come to our country, they will create a new industry, and job will be created, unemployed will be get jobs, unemployment will be reduced, poverty will be reduced, our per capita will be increased. But since 91, more than 20 years, we have seen we are in this struggle. All the multinationals up till now have not created, not established a new industry. They have tried to purchase the profit-making industries during this period with the help of the government. And after purchasing the established profit-making industry, they have tried to reduce the manpower on the offer of golden handshake, CRS, compulsory retirement, voluntary retirement, and reducing the manpower and getting the maximum outcome of the profit taken by the capitalist. And all the central trade unions in our country demanding that our social security should be there, but they are trying with the support of the government to transfer all informal sector, formal sector to informal sector. Earlier we have 7% organized worker in the organized sector, but during these 20 years, 1% has been transferred to informal sector. And in the informal sector, there is no job security, there is no social security. They are taking 12-hour jobs. They are violating all labor laws. They are doing all unfair labor practice. And government and other machineries are helping the multinationals. And during 20 years, all federations fighting at their own, but ultimately at the end, all we have decided that single federation, single union cannot fight with the multinationals, capitalist, employer, anti-worker government. That's why from last 3 to 4 years, we have decided to form a joint action committee of the all center trade union. We have come together on the one platform. We have formulated a common minimum program, common minimum demand charter. In that demand charter, we are demanding from the government that no regular work should be handed over to the private party. No industry should be handed over to the private sector, and social security should be there, and contractualization should be abolished, and jobs should be created, and where there is job on contract worker, they should be given equal wages, equal salary at par with the regular employee, and there should be a job security, and government should control the price hike, and government should give the job to the unemployment youth, because the unemployment youth army is increasing day by day. That's why up till now we are fighting with the anti-labor policies of the government, and old government now has gone, because recently we have passed through a general election of my country, and in that general election a new opposition party now become a ruling party. They have any problem?
Power cut off and no recall. Can you please stop here?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Something wrong.
where he can start? From where he can start?
I can start from the beginning. Okay. Sorry, due to some technical fault, my speech was not recorded. That's why I am started my speech again. Myself, Harbhajan Singh Sidhu, General Secretary Hind Mazdoor Sabha, one of the affiliate of ITUC. We believe in free, independent and democratic organization. That's why we have decided to join ITUC. Hind Mazdoor Sabha is one of the founder member of ICFTU, and after the merger of ICFTU and WCL, and they have created an example for the world. They have left their flag, they have left their names, and selected a new flag, new logo, and new name, that is IT.